Side Ref. Welcome back to In From The Side, rugby show based on our opinions. Two blokes who like to get together and talk rugby. We know less than some and maybe more than others. Two non-professionals who just love the game, really. So I hope you like the show that we put together. My buddy and partner in crime, Werner.
How's it, Matt? How you doing?
Werner Frosty, you well?
Yeah, lekker, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good, buddy. Good. We've had a bit of a gap in between our shows recently.
Shocking, dude. Shocking. We haven't done this in 2 weeks.
That's been my fault. The dreaded lurgy in the UK is knocked me down. But we're here today, and we're following on from our recent series of picking amazing international teams based on our opinions of who the best teams are in the professional era.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of fun doing this, and it always, creates a lot of debate. People will comment and say, "How can you not pick so and so?"
Yeah,
everyone does this. I don't know if it's a very South African thing. I don't know, if people do it in New Zealand and here in the UK, but around a fireside, you will always pick your side. Like who are the best centers, who are the best fullbacks, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just giving our opinion. And as Matt said, we're not, we don't claim to be experts. We are two oaks with opinions, but we do watch a lot of rugby, and we've been watching rugby for 40 odd years. So I think, we come with a well-informed opinion. And we did two videos previously. We did the greatest Springbok side of the professional era, and then we also did the greatest All Black side of the professional era, really from 1995 to today, so the last 30 years. And today we're rounding out the Tri-Nations trifecta.
The Wallabies.
And we are picking, you'll see that the little jerseys we put up, I only had a Brumbies one, but we are picking the greatest Wallaby side of the last 30 years.
Era.
So of the professional era. So no Michael Liner and no Simon Poitevin and no David Campese, that I can promise you. So, but leave your comments in the comments section. If you don't agree with our selection, let us know. Who would you have picked? This one, Matt, was a little bit more tricky. We spoke about it off air before the show. Like in the Springbok side and All Black side, there were like really clear-cut players that we knew were going to be in both our sides. But I'm very curious to see how this selection panned out. So do we just want to jump in?
Straight away.
Yeah. What does your back three look like? Who did you pick at fullback and wing?
Fullback and wing. So I went Matty Burke at 15.
Yeah.
I think an amazing player in his own right, and was just outstanding, really solid, great kicker. I went Joe Rough at 14. Joe Rough was immense, especially in the Brumbies team and in that particular era around that Australian dominance as well. And then for number 11, I went with Drew Mitchell.
Oh, really? Drew Mitchell. Interesting. Why Drew Mitchell?
Exceptional finisher, reliable defender, 34 international tries. I thought he was exceptional. And he's got his own podcast, and it's really funny, so I had to chuck him in there.
Again, you're trying to do some sort of collaboration.
Yeah, a little collab.
Showing some love to the Coco
Shout
boys.
Out to Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, I picked two of the same players at the back three. We keep doing this. We keep picking the same players, but I went Matt Burke at fullback.
Okay.
There were a couple of contenders,
of
like
course.
Chris Latham, obviously as part of the conversation. Folau at fullback was amazing at fullback. But Matt Burke, in his day, in the 90s, was on par with a Christian Cullen or a Andre Hubert, like in the mid-90s. He was phenomenal. Great
super
kicker.
Class. Yeah.
Awesome counter-attacking fullback as well. People underrate how well he did in attack. So I picked Matt Burke at 15. I had to make place for Izzy Folau, so I picked him on right wing, where he made his debut. He made his debut on the wing against the British Lions in 2013.
Yeah.
And played many, many tests at wing. I couldn't leave him out. Just, he's still the highest try scorer in Super Rugby history. Scored so many tries for Australia in the couple of years that he played for them. Had to make space for him. And on left wing, I picked Joe Rough.
Fair enough.
Obviously, Roughy again in my side. There's a couple of notable omissions that I thought about. Ben Tune.
Lottie
Takiri, fantastic player.
Yeah.
Drew Mitchell came up in my selection as well.
Adam Ashley Cooper, AAC.
We're going to get to AAC.
Unbelievable player. I really struggled to leave him out of the team because I loved watching him play.
Yeah.
And he was so classy in everything that he did. And he just had good longevity as well in his career, and also a really good thinking strategic rugby player. But in that sense, I went with Matty Burke for those reasons as well.
Yeah.
Matty Burke gives you that kick. You know, he could slot it from pretty much most places.
Yeah.
And he read the game exceptionally well. And he was also strong. He'd run through people. So at 15, I had to pick him.
No, he was awesome. Talking about Adam Ashley Cooper, that's a great segue because I did, when we did research for this, he's a versatile player. He played fullback, played wing, but he also played centre.
Yeah.
So I picked Adam Ashley Cooper at outside.
Did you?
Which might be controversial because you had the likes of Sterling Mortlock, you had Daniel Herbert, who was just awesome in the late 90s. And next to Adam Ashley Cooper, I picked Tim Horan.
Interesting.
Who, for me, picks himself. He, in my opinion, the greatest 12 in the history of the game. But maybe I'm biased. I'm just a big fan. If you ever want to see how good Tim Horan was, watch that 99 semi-final against the Springboks at Twickenham. He had flu. Like, he had a proper stomach flu. He wasn't well, but he played the greatest game for a centre I think I've ever seen. So that's my centre pairing. Timmy Horan and Adam Ashley Cooper.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's a great pairing. I went with the one that you left out, so I went Timmy Horan and Sterling Mortlock.
Mortlock, yeah. It was tough to not pick Mortlock.
Yeah, so, I mean, Sterling Mortlock, the mix of power, speed, tactical nous, also, again, reliable goal kicker. He was just, he was sensational in that position. And again, as you said, I went with Timmy Horan because Timmy Horan picks himself. So...
Right.
Like, outstanding player. He was just a joy to watch. Yeah. He's actually also a joy to listen to on commentary. I think he's pretty fair. He gives good analysis of the game. But that's evident of what he was like playing in his position. He read the game so well, and he was also solid. Like, at centre, you have to be able to stand up. You have to be able to make your tackles. You have to be able to run through people. And while he wasn't, a Sonny Bill Williams, because you didn't have like maybe the height and the range, he's still an amazing player and solid.
Yeah. No, that combo he had with Jason Little in the 90s was just world class. Made his debut for Australia at 20. I think he retired early. He could have played a couple of more years, but retired at the top of his game, mate. And, he could cover fly-off. He played the odd test of fly-off. Adam Ashley Cooper, Sterling Mortlock also could cover wing. So he had some versatility. He played a couple of tests.
Didn't he play at fullback a couple of times as well?
Maybe he did.
Maybe
he did, yeah.
But again, the versatility was there.
Yeah, so they give you options.
Jason Little, what a name to leave out as well.
He was good. He was good. He just, when Dan Herbert came onto the scene and Jason Little struggled a little bit with injury in the mid-90s. It's like when he came back in the late 90s, he wasn't quite the player.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Herbert overtook him in the pecking order. And Dan Herbert was awesome.
Outstanding. Another name hard to leave off.
He was awesome.
Of this picking. Samu Karevi as well.
Karevi's good.
Like a really good option. Tavita Kurandrani as well. He was up there in my considerations. But as I say, Tim Horan, intelligent, tough, and exceptionally skillful.
Yeah, and another player which we didn't talk about, which will probably come up now when we talk about fly-off as well, is Matty Giddo.
Yeah.
So he was great at inside centre, such a creative player, ran the Springboks to shreds a couple of times. I'm remembering 49-0 in 2006. He ran us ragged. So Matt Giddo definitely in with a shout as well.
Nice little shout out. He's been on a few podcasts on that. So you're trying to make friends that way as well.
No, it was just giving credit where credit's due, mate. He was a really good, and he was a small player. Even though it was like we had Brent Russell, Australia had Matt Giddo, like these electrifying players,
really versatile,
that could create something out of nothing. So no, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, halfbacks.
It was probably the easiest thing for me. We went with Stephen Larkin at 10, or I went with Stephen Larkin at 10, and George Gregan at 9.
Yeah.
I think I said we because I'm guessing you went the same.
No, I went Chris Whittaker.
Tell another one. Another. You can't.
Bernie Larkham, Georgie Gregan, no-brainer. Greatest duo in Australian Well, I mean, there's an argument for a Michael Liner or a Mark Ella who played in the early 80s. They were fantastic. But in the pro era, I don't think anyone even comes close. I mean, Quade Cooper was decent. Kurtley Beale could play at 10. He was a proper player.
Foley
gave you a lot of versatility. Foley
was good.
Part of the conversation, but none of them was Stephen Larkham.
Yeah.
Like, he slowed the game down. If he had his hands on the ball, space just opened up. I remember again very vividly, we'll probably show this as a highlight. There was a test in 2000 in Sydney, Nelson Mandela Plate test the Springboks played. And the whole Springbok defense was rushing up Robbie Fleck. Everyone was rushing up. And he just held on to the ball and a gap. I mean, Moses could have walked his people through that gap, right? And it just opened up and Larkham was through and he scored. And who will ever forget that ridiculous drop kick in the 99 World Cup semi-final? Yeah. His only drop kick he ever kicked in international rugby. Never kicked one before or since. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was pre-planned. But he got it and they went on to win the World Cup. So fantastic player. And same with George Gregan. I mean, for a very, very long time, he was the most capped Australian of all time.
Yeah.
A very vivid memory that I have of George Gregan, two of them that stand out. One is that tackle on Jeff Wilson.
Correct.
In the Bledisloe Cup in 1994. That is like etched in my brain.
But I think for every South African it is, because it was I think it was on SuperSport as a boots and all lead up or some kind of advert.
Some ad.
And so
we saw
almost
that
on a daily,
times.
You'd see Georgie Gregan smashing Jeff Wilson.
And that was the difference between, them winning and losing the Bledisloe Cup that year. They only played that one test. And then another one was 2003 when they beat the All Blacks in the semi-final.
4 more years.
4 more years, boys.
4 more years.
Yeah. Classic Gregan.
But Georgie Gregan, exceptional leadership, tactical awareness, defensive. He was super reliable. He just, and again, we talked about it in previous shows, his delivery was outstanding. And he also brought in the backs, really, not the backs, sorry, the loose forwards around the mauls and around the breakdown really well. He would have that tactical, behind the
You're thinking Owen Finnegan.
Behind the back flick.
Yeah.
And that kind of, at the time, they did so well. They were the greatest exponents of that, for my mind, at that time. Other people have done it well since, but they were just outstanding in that play. And it made them points so often.
But also, if you think about how the Brumbies played in that period, late 90s up until 2004, they were known for their phase play.
Yeah.
Right? They called it phase play. Just if we keep on hitting the phases and we the space will open up. And Gregan was key to that. He just kept on getting quick ball out, having your big forwards run, get you over the gain line, space opens up, and they scored so many tries. So fantastic leader of the game.
I mean, a couple of names to mention. Will Guinea was outstanding. Nick Fal-Jones as well, good at 9.
Yeah.
But again, George Gregan, Stephen Larkham, they write their own names onto that, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm very curious. I'm not going to lead with this. I'm very curious to hear your loose trio, because I think I've picked a controversial combo.
Okay.
But I'm very keen to hear who you picked as your back three.
Okay, for 8, I went to Tai Kefu.
Yeah.
You go, because I think maybe you went the same way.
I didn't. That's why.
Open side, I went George Smith.
Yeah.
And then blind side, I went Owen Finnegan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't even have Finnegan in my side.
In your side.
But again, he was such a strong ball carrier, right? Phenomenal when he came off the bench.
Powerful, versatile forward. He was capable of game-breaking moments. And again, as I said, that combination with Gregan, they were just what they did for the Brumbies. They were able to sort of replicate for at the Wallaby level as well. So I thought he deserved his crack. I mean, look, it was hard. Some names to leave off, obviously Rocky Elsom, Scott Fardy, also good in that blindside flanker role. But I'm interested to hear who you went with.
Mate, I went with 3 flankers.
Oh, did you?
Because there's just guys that you couldn't leave out, which I looked at the list of names, and again, Finnegan was great. I didn't pick Kefu, which was probably the best out and out number 8 that Australia's ever had.
I think so.
He was awesome. Cliffy Paulu's worthy of a mention. He was really good. I went with David Pocock at 8, purely because I couldn't pick him at open side or at blind side because of who I picked. So I had to make space for David Pocock, ex-Zimbabwe. So you'd appreciate that. Yeah. And he did play number 8 for a couple of tests. He played it in the World Cup final in 2015, scored a lot of tries from the back of the maul. Admittedly, he probably didn't play his best rugby at 8th man. But he was too good not to pick.
Not to pick. So he was the one, and again, I had the heartstrings being pulled because ex-Zimbo, I wanted to go for him. And also he was just immense in the, over the ball and at the breakdown, just outstanding as a player. But yeah, I went with Kefu because Kefu's an out-and-out 8 as well.
He was an out-and-out 8, and he was destructive. Strong ball carrier, scored some fantastic tries. So
excellent in the offload as well.
Yeah, can't fault you there. Kefu was amazing, and obviously currently coaching the Tonga national side, so he's still actively involved in rugby. I went Pocock at 8, and then I went George Smith at blindside, like you. Picks himself. He really is, for me, when we talk about a Richie McCaw as being the greatest of all time, I think for Australia, really George Smith made that jersey his own for a decade.
Yeah.
Too good not to pick, so I had to pick George Smith, and on the other flank, on the other side of the scrum, I picked Michael Hooper.
I thought you were going to go that way. The moment you said, I'm going three flankers, because again, that's the same debate I had with myself, because how do you leave out Michael Hooper?
How do you leave out Michael Hooper? Look, it is controversial, and I'm sure people will nitpick at this, because it's all very similar type of players. They play close to the ground, good fetchers.
Yeah.
George Smith was probably the best runner out of all of them, ball carrier out of all of them. Usually your best combo at loose forward is you have one, I don't want to say smaller, but a player that plays close to the ground, creates the turnovers, contests for the ball on the ground, and then one big player like Owen Finnegan that can hit people up and play the running game. I just risked it. I went with 3 flanks. But I think David Pocock will do well at 8.
Yeah, Radicki Sama as well at 8 would have been a good shout.
Sama was good.
Would have been a good shout. But yeah, look, I think as an 8th man, David Pocock is well worth his weight. So no issues with you including him there.
Okay.
Who'd you go with in the lock pairing?
In the locking pairing, again, a pretty obvious one, John Eales.
Yeah.
Okay, his nickname famously was Nobody, because nobody's perfect. Had to pick John Eales, and not just for his kicking game. His all-round game is very good at the lineouts. And next to him, I picked a player who, according to Victor Matfield, was his most difficult opponent.
Hardest opposition.
Nathan Sharp.
Yeah, we went with the same.
Oh, really?
I went with Sharpie, and I went with John Eales as well.
Yeah. Nathan Sharp retired about 6 times, I think, in his career. Every season, it's like, this is my last season, and then he plays another one, and he plays a blinder. Legend of the game.
Outstanding line-out operator, Sharpie. And also a physical presence. He was a respected leader, but again, so was John Eales. John Eales was just, as you say, nobody's perfect, and that was his nickname. You don't get people who kick, who are part of the scrum and the forward pack, like for a goal. And he had that unique sort of quality about him. But I think fair dues, he was solid for everything that he had with his kicking game. He was outstanding in the dark arts of the scrum, and again, he was an exceptional line-out individual as well.
No, he was. Look, you're good. In South Africa, you have the SA Rugby Player of the Year award. In New Zealand, you have the New Zealand Rugby Player of the Year award. In Australia, you have the John Eales award. That's given to the best player in the country for that year. So you know that you are a legend of the game if they name an award after you.
An amazing tactician of the game as well. Great captain. So fair play. And again, interesting that we both picked the same players, but especially because I think there were some great alternatives that we left out. Justin Harrison's a great one.
Was good. David
Giffen is another. Rob Simmons as well.
Rob Simmons, I mean, he's been there for more than a decade. I think there's a Will Skelton.
Yeah,
he's up there.
Also, he's a man mountain of a human.
Not pick these guys.
But again, like all of those names you just described, when you put them up against John Eales, and to a fair degree Nathan Sharp, hard to budge them out the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Front row, who anchors the scrum? This one was really tough.
Yeah, it was tough for me as well. Backwards and forwards a couple of times on, picking a name and then shifting it out, picking a name, shifting it out. But Luciad, I went with Ben Robinson.
Okay.
Dominant scrummager, strong work rate, excellent mobility for a prop as well. A couple of those runs that he had from like the 22 in, and I think, if I'm right, he had a kick once that went like, it was just a versatile player, but as a prop, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
So, fair dues to him. Scotty CO could have been someone to go for, James Slipper even, but I went with Ben Robinson myself.
Okay.
And then at hooker, Stephen Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because he looks like a shark. No, I'm
But also a
kidding.
bloody good player.
An amazing player.
Tough as nails.
Long-serving captain, over 120 caps. Excellent line-up throwing, strong leader on and off the field. I thought he deserved his shout. And again, he was up against people like Tolu Latu and Jeremy Paul.
Yeah.
Jeremy Paul was in and out for me, hard.
Pelota now also was a fantastic player at hooker.
And then again, tight head was a difficult one for me, but I went with Sekepi Kepu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. We got 2 out of 3. We picked the same.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I went with Scotty Co at Loosehead.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is I thought about Ben Robinson, and then I did a bit of reading, and I went onto forums and I checked what does the Australian public think. And apparently in Australia they didn't rate him as highly.
Yeah, but that's
like that was a deal breaker. It's like, what did the public think? Because for me, front row was really difficult. If you look at the Springbok scrum and the All Black scrum, there's periods in our history where we're known for our scrummaging. Australia not. You know, they always use the scrum as a reset. Get the ball in, get the ball out. You know, and it's like the front row plays more of a supporting role. They're not really the stars of the show, although they have players that have played more than 100 tests. So for me, that was sort of the kicker.
Mate, I think you faltered there. This is supposed to be your opinion, and then you've gone and you've crowd surfed everyone else's opinion to form your own.
I did, but I was 50-50 between him
Fair
and
enough.
Ben Robinson. But interestingly enough, then I didn't even pick Ben Robinson on the bench.
You did.
So he's not even in my 23. But I picked Scott Co, Stephen Moore, and Sekepi Kepu.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think is a standout tight head. And again, like you say, Stephen Moore, hard as nails.
You wouldn't
was
mess
tough,
with him.
and his set piece was good.
Yeah.
Like I always talk about what's your main role on the field.
Yeah.
You know, we spoke about it when we picked the Springbok side. I picked Bismarck because he never missed the line out. Malcolm Marx does miss the odd line out, and the same with Stephen Moore. He was so solid at set piece.
Yeah.
Loved seeing him play.
And again, great leadership from the front. And I think part of that leadership is you have to do all of what you're employed to do right, so that you're showing everyone else around you that you're leading from the front.
Yeah.
And if you, again, at hooker, are getting your set piece right, then at least you can stand and look other people in the eye and go, stand up yourself. So, fair enough.
It's very interesting. I thought we were going to differ so much more in this team, but again, we picked very similar players in most positions. What does your bench look like?
So my bench, I went Tolu Latu at hooker. He's dynamic and aggressive, excellent at disrupting breakdowns, good ball carrier as well. James Slipper, who I love James Slipper, he just seems to be going forever.
Yeah.
But he's also capable of playing on both sides. So the versatility there, but also a wealth of experience. Great for you to be able to bring someone like that on, with 20 odd minutes to go, especially now with his legs as they are, probably.
Yeah.
So he'd appreciate that. But an excellent scrummager in James. And then Alan Alatoa for my tight head replacement.
Okay.
Now, for the Lucy replacement, this is maybe controversial because this is where I thought I'd bring in Michael Hooper.
Yeah.
But instead, I went with Scott Vardy.
Okay.
Because Scott Vardy can play.
Player.
Yeah, great
Good
player. But he could play lock and flanker. So that versatility I preferred. And again, I was debating this because how do you leave out Michael Hooper? But I went with Scott.
That's your team, mate.
Scott Vardy's versatile. Can play second row or as Blanster flanker. Good in the line out. Also great at the breakdown. So keen to have him come on. And then I went with David Pocock as my other to bring on.
Can you imagine Pocock coming on with 20 minutes to go, fresh,
nice,
just jackling balls, stealing.
Hulk smash.
Yeah. Jeez, he was awesome.
He would rip into you. So I've got a 5-3 split.
Okay.
So those are my forwards, and my backs I've got Will Genia to come on, and as my 9 replacement, I've got Matty Gitto to come on, and he can play fly off, wing, probably fullback as well. But at fullback, I had to make space for Izzy Folau.
Okay, Israel Folau coming off the bench. Okay, makes a lot of sense.
Dynamic at the bench, eh? Yeah.
I loved Izzy Folau. I know he's a polarizing figure outside of the game, but on the field, he was just phenomenal. He scored tries that nobody else was allowed to score.
And the thing is, under the high ball, I mean, was there
Good. His Aussie rules and NRL, background.
Yeah, exactly.
Served him well.
And again, people outside of the game will have an opinion on what he said and his opinions and whatever.
That's his business.
That's his business. But like the fact that he therefore missed out on so much rugby playing for Australia at an international level thereafter because of those comments and those beliefs was a shame, because we didn't get to see the rest of what he could have fulfilled as part of his potential.
Absolutely. We missed out on 4 years of his career. And I think he would have pushed for Campo's record at some point. If you just look at his try scoring record in Super Rugby, it still stands. So it's a shame.
Awesome. But I had to make space for him coming on at fullback, or like even on the wing if I needed to, because again, as you say, that's where he started his career. If you send him on as a late replacement, he'll smash people as well.
I just realized I made a mistake, and I'm going to correct myself before somebody in the comments section corrects me. TJ Perenara broke his record this year. He's the top try scorer in Super Rugby history.
Really?
2024 he did that. So, Izzy Folau, what a legend. That's a good bench, mate. I can't fault you.
Izzy Folau, Matt Giteau, Will Guinea, David Pocock, Scott Fardy, James Slipper, Alan Alatoa, and Tolu Latu.
Strong
bench.
That's a good bench. I went with a 5-3 split. I think it just fits the Aussies game a little bit better. We know that they historically like a running game. So my front row replacements, I went James Slipper.
Yep.
So he made, instead of Ben Robinson, I put him on the bench. Similar reasons you gave. He's the all-time most capped Wallaby player. Strong scrummager, great servant of the game.
Yeah.
He deserves his place.
He kind of just goes about his business without really no airs and graces.
He's just one of those hard workers.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
Fair play to you.
Fantastic player and a great servant of the game. At tight head, this is a controversial one. I went with Patricio Noriega.
Oh, wow.
A dual international for Argentina and Australia. Played for the Aussies in the late 90s after he played for Argentina for the most of the early 90s. But, mate, let me tell you, maybe I'm thinking more of his time as the Argentinian tight head, but he was immovable. And again, what's your number one job as a tight head prop? Is you just don't move backwards in a scrum.
Well, speak to Oxenchair.
He was phenomenal. I would have loved to see him scrumming against Ox in his prime.
Oh.
Like Noriega, I know it's maybe a left field one, but I loved it.
Definitely left field because of his original background from Argentina, and this is supposed to be the best of Australia. But the fact that he's a dual international, I think qualifies, and therefore, if in your opinion, again, this is a show about our opinions, he is the outstanding individual to be included in your team based on his scrummaging efforts, then that's fair enough.
There were a couple of names, like I looked at Ben Darwin and a couple of guys, Al Baxter. There were a couple of guys, but none of them, for me, from what I saw and what I remember, Noriega,
he stands out.
I had to get him in the side.
Fair play.
And at hooker, I picked Jeremy Paul. He's my backer, because again, I'm thinking he's coming on in the second half, 20 minutes left. He liked playing a bit of a loose game and loved running with the ball and scored some great tries. I just think he could be destructive off the bench. So I picked Jeremy Paul. My lock replacement's Will Skelton.
Okay.
Again, fresh legs coming in 20 minutes to go.
Imagine you played 60 minutes of a game, you're knackered, and then that comes on.
140 kgs, giant. And it's so sad that he went to play for La Rochelle because of the selection policy in Australia. For a long time, he didn't play for the Aussies, but had to get Will Skelton in. And then my other Lucy is Rocky Elsom.
Yeah.
So, again,
loved Rocky Elsom playing.
Legend.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's in some legal troubles currently, but I won't let that sway me anyway.
This is about
as
the
a
rugby.
player,
As a player,
he was awesome.
He was fair enough.
Fantastic. Love Rocky Elsom. Scored some great tries. There was a test at, was it the one in Bloemfontein or the one at Loftus in 2010, where he just scored a fantastic try against the Springboks. My halfback, scrum half replacement, Will Guinea. I think behind Gregan, obvious choice as the next in line. I also went Matty Giteau.
Did you?
Yeah, versatility.
Mr. Versatile.
Can play fly half, can play centre, can probably cover wing and fullback. He can do everything in the back line.
Yeah.
Matt Giteau. And then I picked Chris Latham on the bench. Again, can do fullback, wing. And he's one of those players where I just felt like I had to get him somewhere in the team.
In the team.
But not good enough to make the starting lineup. But yeah, that's my bench.
Nice, brother. That's two very good teams. The fact that we picked quite a few of the same players is indicative of those individuals, I think, being standout in their own rights, rather than the fact that you and I like the same type of players or the same type of rugby. These teams that we've picked always need leadership up front, strategic direction. So coach and assistant coach, if you picked them, who have you gone with?
Coach and assistant coach, I went head coach Rod McQueen.
Yeah.
And assistant coach, this is controversial, Michael Checker.
Interesting, because I know, and Chex, you met recently.
That's not why I picked him. I think he's a bloody good coach.
You've lauded him before, and you've said how much you think he's a great coach, and that you think he was underrated in terms of what he's done and what he's achieved, and to a degree, he's showing his class still for the Leicester Tigers. So that's a good picking.
Yeah, I don't think he'll like the fact that he's assistant coach, but Rod McQueen, World Cup winning coach. And if you think where the Wallabies were in the mid-90s, after the 95 World Cup, they lost to us by 60 points. Bob Dwyer got the axe. They brought in Rod McQueen. He rebuilt that side. He moved Stephen Larkin to flyer from fullback. He was instrumental in making that move. And they dominated the Bledisloe Cup for 4 years. And it's the last time they actually won the Bledisloe Cup was under Rod McQueen. And that was more than 25 years ago.
That period of 1997 to 2001, around there, where he was in charge, they were outstanding.
Yeah.
So I went with him as well, Rod McQueen for head coach.
Deserved.
Yeah, well deserved. He deserves those accolades. And my assistant coach is also quite controversial. I went with Eddie Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Eddie, I think as an assistant coach, look, he won 2007 World Cup with South Africa as assistant coach.
Yeah.
So controversial in his own right as head coach of teams, most recently in Australia and the World Cup showing and outing that they did there and what happened thereafter with Japan. But his pedigree speaks for itself in terms of what he did with England, initially at least. And so as an assistant coach, I think he can come in and do a job.
It is interesting because whenever he comes in, well, most of the time when he comes in and takes charge of a team, he gets results very quickly and then it sort of fizzles out. We saw it with the Aussies. You know, he took them to the 2003 World Cup final, but then after that, it sort of, you know, they became weaker and weaker until he left. He did the same with England, won the Grand Slam, won the Six Nations, and then they just sort of fizzled out, although they did reach the 2019 World Cup final. But apart from one or two trophies, like he hasn't really won that much. He's won the odd Bledisloe Cup, sure, yeah. I'll give that to him. And he's won Super Rugby in 2001 with the Brumbies. But
for me, it was what you just said. His one outstanding achievement above all else is the World Cup winning medal that he has, and he got it as an assistant coach. And so that's why he's my assistant coach for this team.
Okay, interestingly, we didn't talk about captain. Who's your captain in this side?
Yo, that is a great call, great question. I think up front in the forwards, you got to go with John Eales.
Yeah, John Eales, me too. Okay, fantastic. So John Eales is our captain in both sides. That is our greatest Wallaby team of the last 30 years of the professional era, including the bench, including the coaches. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us what you think in the comments section below. If you like what we do and you like these types of discussions, give us a subscribe, a like, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook,
all
TikTok.
The socials.
We're on all the social medias, and we thank you for your time. Thank you, Matt. That was a lot of fun.
Thanks, brother. We'll have a quick drink on this.
Next week we will do this again because I think Six Nations around the corner. I think we need to do the Six Nations teams. And let's kick off with England because we both live in the UK.
That's more.
We live in England. So next week we do the greatest England side of the last 30 years.
Nice. Looking forward to that. Thanks for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Cheers.